Welcome back. The impeachment of Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton is historic, and so is his upcoming trial, which is set to begin on Tuesday. A lot has happened to get us to this point. Jack Fink gives us a look back at how we got here the moment that the three-term Attorney General was impeached by the Texas House and then immediately suspended from his job without pay.
The resolution is adopted.
It happened Memorial Day weekend, the final weekend of the regular legislative session. The 20 articles of impeachment against Paxton include abuse of public trust, being unfit for office, dereliction of duty, and constitutional bribery. In short, Paxton is accused of abusing his office to benefit himself and Nate Paul, an Austin real estate developer who donated $25,000 to his campaign.
The path to impeachment began nearly 3 years ago, October 2020. That's when 8 of Paxton's top hand-picked officials in his office sent a letter to Human Resources at the Attorney General's office in which they accused the Attorney General of violating federal law, including allegations of bribery. In that letter, Paxton's top officials said they notified law enforcement and sent Paxton himself a text.
The FBI in Austin began investigating Paxton. That ultimately led to the Attorney General to fire his deputies after calling them, quote, rogue employees. 4 of them filed a whistleblower lawsuit against the Attorney General's office.
Fast forward to February of this year. This is when things really started to heat up. The Attorney General's office announced February 10th that it agreed to settle the lawsuit with 4 whistleblowers for $3.3 million, money that would come from taxpayers. And that did not sit well with Republican House Speaker Dade Phelan, who we interviewed 5 days later.
I don't anticipate that $3.3 million being in the House budget. Mr. Paxton is going to have to come to the Texas House. He's going to have to appear before the Appropriations Committee and make a case to that committee as to why that is a proper use of taxpayer dollars. And then he's going to have to sell it to 76 members of the Texas House. That is his job, not mine.
Do you support it personally?
No.
You don't? Why not?
I don't think it's the proper use of taxpayer dollars.
The chair calls the Honorable Ken Paxton, Attorney General of Texas.
Nearly 1 week later, Paxton and his office asked the House for $3.3 million in taxpayer dollars to settle the case.
General Paxton, would you be willing to pay for it out of your campaign account?
Paxton didn't answer any questions about the proposed settlement agreement with whistleblowers, but his office's litigation chief, Chris Hilton, spoke with lawmakers instead, telling them that Paxton isn't liable under state law. The Office of Attorney General is.
What was unknown to Paxton and most lawmakers in the Capitol at the time, the Attorney General's office request sparked a secret investigation by the House General Investigating Committee in March. Fast forward now to May 23rd. That's when the committee went public with its investigation into Paxton's proposed settlement with the whistleblowers. It was officially known as Matter A.
A quorum is present.
The Texas House General Investigating Committee had the experienced prosecutors who investigated Attorney General Ken Paxton lay out their findings. Investigators for the House committee explained the settlement would prevent a trial and keep details of the allegations against Paxton out of public view.
Do you feel like there's a lot of evidence there to support those allegations?
I do. Yes, Chairman, I do.
I do as well. Chair Murr?
Aye.
Vice Chair Johnson?
Yes.
Representative Guerin?
Yes.
The Texas House General Investigating Committee recommended 20 articles of impeachment against him.
By proceeding with this illegal impeachment scheme to overturn a decision made by Texas voters just a few short months ago, the corrupt politicians in the Texas House are demonstrating that blind loyalty to Speaker Dade Phelan is more important than upholding their oath of office.
He walked out without taking reporters' questions.
General Paxton.
Jack Fink, CBS News, Texas.